want to go to Carl Sabo right now. He's a fascinating individual here because he's sort of had a front row seat at a lot of this, if you think about it. He's met with Republican and Democratic House staffers to gather intelligence about Facebook, about Twitter, or Biden's story, so maybe he can make sense of where all of this is going. It's great to have you back, Carl. What do you make of these latest developments?
Yeah, thanks for having me back. You know, these latest developments just build upon the files that were released last Friday, which kind of included my own personal email address. Not too thrilled about that part. But what they do underscore is an ongoing narrative of conversations and coercion between the government and Twitter, and whether Twitter was putting its finger on the scales of what content is being promoted and not being promoted. Now, I'm really shocked by what I saw from some of these files. The doctor from Stanford's a great example of what really scares me every single day, and that is potential conversations between government and Twitter and the coercive efforts of government on Twitter. Now, we do have examples of the White House coming out and saying that social media is killing people if they promote misinformation or disinformation that they defined as anything related to COVID. And we need to know more about what's going on here and how much that has pressured people at Twitter to promote or demote content. At NetChoice, we fight every day for free expression and free enterprise on the internet. We've been doing it for 20 years, and we love seeing this type of information get out there because hopefully this will inspire much needed change to push government out of business and let these businesses do what they do best, which is serve their users, serve their customers, and really give us free speech on the internet.
You know, it really depends, though, Carl, in the eye of the beholder, right? I've been flipping around, watching other news organizations, including this one, how they've been covering this. If you're, a liberal, you're oriented that way, you don't think it's any big deal. If you're not so inclined, you think this is a huge deal. And I'm wondering if we invariably will see life through the prism in which we judge life, and that there won't be any changes.
You know, I think you're right about how this is trying to get trying to get partisan. And, keep in mind, Democrats have really enjoyed a real advantage here. They enjoyed it in the legacy media. They enjoyed it in Twitter. That's what these files show. There's a reason why the Biden administration created the Disinformation Governance Board shortly after Musk announced this acquisition, because Democrats are scared. They're scared about what may be revealed and what information may be available if we begin opening and making the changes that Musk is trying to make. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. We've been working to get government out of control of media, get government out of control of social media. And there's legislation on the Hill, fortunately, from people like Representative Jim Jordan and Representative Comer and Representative McMorris-Rodgers that would make crystal clear that the federal government cannot go around pressuring social media platforms to promote or demote the content that the political parties want. And so this is a great step. I hope this is a transition moment for all of us to really get government out and get the businesses and Americans back in control of free speech online.
One quick addition, if you don't mind, Carl. Sam Bankman-Fried is going to testify, I believe, before the House Financial Services Committee next week. What is he in for?
This is one of the biggest cases that a lot of people aren't talking about. I think some of that comes down to politics. SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried, FTX, $32 billion disappeared overnight. And we have Representative Maxine Waters saying, oh, he seems like a good guy. He's doing good things. But keep in mind, SBF gave $40 million to the Democratic Party this past election cycle. And this is a clear case of fraud. This is Bernie Madoff level corruption and greed. And unfortunately, I think because of his huge political donations to Democrats, donations to some Republicans, he's expecting a light glove approach, and I really hope he doesn't get it. He needs to be taken to task, and he's going to testify before Congress, and they really need to hold his feet to the fire.
You think he's going to jail?
Putting on my lawyer hat, fraud is fraud, deception is deception, and he promised every single user that no customer funds will be used or transmitted over to FTX trading. They were, and as Eisenhower used to say, the buck stops here, and he was in charge of it all.
Carl, let's see what happens. Love having you on. We'll have to have you back. Carl's Label following all of these big developments here. Meanwhile, we are following the response to what seemed to be a worrisome inflation report until people stepped back and said, you know, the wholesale report was lousy for the month. Year over year was better than we thought. So maybe it's not so bad. That's for the moment. We're on top of that after this.